Good morning. You might not be watching this in the morning, but it's morning right now. Thanks for tuning in. We're making it work. I'm Jimmy. I'm the old guy that runs the show. In case you're new here, I've been a master mechanic for 30 years and working professionally as a mechanic for 43, going on 44 years. That's right, I'm old. I know a thing or two, and there's a lot of stuff I don't know. As you might know by watching my videos, I'm going to take you to work with me today. That's what we're doing. We're going to spend a day in the shop fixing cars. It's been a little busier lately. Definitely more crowded. We got a couple cars fixed yesterday. A couple of odd things happened. Interesting video. If you didn't see it, go check it out for yesterday's video. Today, we're going to be working on an Oldsmobile Cutlass. We're going to be doing tow truck. We're going to be doing an evaporator on a Honda minivan, I believe, among other things. So definitely worth staying tuned. We're going to learn a thing or two. We're going to have some fun for sure. So either way, if nothing else, we'll just work on a project truck. That's all. We got a lot of work to do on that. So let's finish getting the shop open up and get started. Stay tuned. I moved it over to my bay now that it runs. Customer's so happy. He said, go ahead, do the oil change since it's 4,000 miles overdue. Do an induction service and wish me luck. I recommended a coolant flush because the coolant was low, but the guys up front overrode me and said it's not due to 120,000 miles. I said, okay. So I'm just going to top up the coolant. I recommended it because it was low and it looked a little dark, but we go by the maintenance now, not by what a mechanic thinks. Mechanics don't know what they're doing. So anyway, now you're caught up. We're going to do a quick oil change since the starter wasn't a problem. You can see my oil change set up. I like to pull the dipstick out for those that are new. That way I know there's going to be no oil in it when I let it back down. Everyone in the shop knows there's probably no oil in it because Jimmy leaves the dipstick up until he puts oil in it. That's a more obvious sign probably. I like to put my oil cap on a rag so it's very visible. Some guys will just set the oil cap anywhere, you know, random places. But if you put it somewhere you can't close the hood and on a rag, you're not going to get forgotten because we get rushed a little bit sometimes. Now since this is a cartridge style filter at the top, you do the filter first. And it's got a new O-ring. Hopefully it's the right one. We'll find out shortly. You can use my gear wrench ratchet with a Pittsburgh locking extension, an adapter, and a 24mm snap-on socket. You know what's up. This is the bougie YouTube channel, nothing but the best. Price is no object. Oh, I'm gonna let that drip a little bit. While it drips, a little washer fluid. A lot of bugs in Florida smash into that windshield, and people go through washer fluid at an alarming rate. We mix the blue dye in the water, which is supposed to help make it better than just water. You can see a little bit of suds, but real washer fluid, if you live up north, is what I would recommend. Some people will skip changing these and take a chance that the last guy didn't do the same thing. O-ring. Perfect. That is what's going to make this engine hum. How to still oil in the cap, I don't know. And these housings break quite often. They crack. People over tighten them. I'm even using too long of a ratchet, but I'm going to go out of my way not to over tighten it. little cleanup work. Now we'll head down to the oil pan and get the rest of that nasty oil out of this thing. 4,000 miles over if the sticker's right. That wasn't ever gonna leak, ever. And they got that tight. Pretty tight. That's amazing. Actually, not quite as bad as I thought it might have been. Look at that gasket. She gone. Uh-oh, accident right across the street. Stop and go, bumper to bumper traffic. Someone rear-ended someone. Here comes the policia. Oh, he's not stopping for that accident. He's on another one. Funny story, last night I was going home and there was an accident down by Poinciana Boulevard somewhere. And I sat in line for about 20 minutes without moving a foot. So I turned around and did a U-turn and went back on John Young Parkway and went up a road called Hoagland Boulevard. And I got about halfway up Hoagland and there was an accident on that road. Well, needless to say, it took me like an hour and 20 minutes to get home last night. It was 7 miles. Anyway, more importantly, look at that new O-ring. That's what it's supposed to look like. Everybody should move to Kissimmee. It's awesome! 020. Dinosaur blood. Not really for dinosaurs.
It's from a refinery, silly. Heavy crude. Actually take raw crude, make it into heavy distillate. Make it oil, diesel fuel, kerosene, stuff like that from that. Gasolina, all kinds of cool stuff. I'm gonna have a little bit of transmission fluid in there.
That's not good. Maybe it's just blood from a mechanic. That would be great. Just a tiny bit over full. Once we fill that filter cavity, perfect. That's all we want. Perfection. It's not asking a lot. Cap's facing the right way. Everything's topped up. I'm gonna fire this thing up. All right, I got a sticker in it. One of the things I like to do, our stickers are really aggressive and sticky, so I'll put my fingers on the back of it in a bunch of places so it comes off easier next time. Otherwise you need a razor blade, it ain't coming off. So let's put these windows up. We got oil pressure. I got to do the tires, the air in the tires. They go to 36 psi. We're gonna do an induction service. I gotta hook up my stuff. This has a bolt-on engine cover because of that Chrysler horsepower. You don't want them to come flying off, so they got bolt-on stuff. We'll get it. It's gonna be fun. Trust me. I gotta reset the oil change reminder too. Let's see how we do that. Go through our menu. Oh. Hold OK to reset oil life. Reset oil life. Engine must be off with ignition on. Ignition on. Do, 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 do. Hold OK. Think 100%. Let's hook up the induction stuff and get that going. Need to find a vacuum source. Usually the purge valve or something like that's fairly easy to get to. Just don't brag about it ahead of time. Oh, look at that. Purge valve, vacuum, perfect. A lot of things are perfect, including that. Decarbonizer bottle goes in there. Fuel treatment bottle goes in the gas tank. Oof, it whacked them pretty good. If you got a capless filler neck, You gotta use a special funnel. The kits we used to have came with it, but this one doesn't. But luckily I keep one around. Got the throttle stop on there. Keep it about 1500 to 2000 RPM. I'm gonna air up the tires while that's working. Well, that took about 40 minutes. It's finally getting to the end. This bottle's a lot slower than my other one, but that's why I prefer to use it, actually. The longer it takes, the better of a job it does at cleaning carbon. They're not really 100% effective. They do make a difference, though. Some people don't believe in them, but I've had some results. It's not magic. If the carbon's really bad and hardened up real good, it's going to just put a dent in it. It'll polish it, help polish it and clean it up, but it won't remove it. If the carbon's just starting, that's when it's the best. That's why if you do this process every 2 years or so, depending on how much you drive, it does help, I think. Anyway, I'm going to finalize this, make sure the check engine's not on, the light's not on, pop on the cover, take it for a drive, and I think we're going to do the Cutlass blower fan switch next. Alright, let me catch you guys up. Things are getting a little screwy around here, so haven't really been filming this. Might remember this car, I put a fan switch in it because it wasn't working on high. Actually it worked, but it blew the fan like back down on low when you went on 4. So we had high resistance through the switch. So we placed the switch, got it working great. Customer came to get it, turned it on, it blew a second or two and pop, no more fan. And I mean pop. So what I've been doing now is saying something else has got to be going on because it stopped working completely. It doesn't blow at lower speed. When the fan's blowing at lower speed, it means resistance. That's how it controls fan speed, is with a resistor. And if you look at the wiring diagram, depending on where you put the switch, it has a 4-speed switch. Depending on where you put it, it goes all the way through the resistor, through part of the resistor, very little of the resistor, or on high, it doesn't go to the resistor at all. It goes through the relay directly to the blower motor from the battery and the horn relay right here. So what's happened is there's a couple different things going on. Besides the fan switch needing to be replaced initially, also found some sketchy connections, wires just twisted together. I replaced 1, 2, 3 of those. The wire size is, the insulation small, but the copper inside looks pretty good. I don't think that'll be a problem. I put a new 30 amp fuse in there. 30 amp fuse, blown as blown can be. So I'm thinking that the connections all adding to the resistance or something like along those lines. I'm not really sure, but the fuse is definitely blown. So I'm going to run it a few times, see if it blows the fuse again. Problem is, it only uses this fuse on high. It doesn't use this circuit for anything other than high, which is fan speed 4. The resistance in that wire could cause a problem, as well as the blower fan itself, but it's not the fan itself. It would blow fuses in the resisted side, if that makes sense. So if a wire is shorting or something possibly, but I re-insulated all this and put the abrasion tubing back on. I opened some of these up, looking at wiring, trying to figure all that out. So, well, you guys are kind of caught up now where I'm at. I had to see if it blows a fuse again and look for shorts and stuff on these wires. I couldn't find anything visibly shorted. That doesn't mean there isn't something going on in the harness. I don't think it's the blower motor itself, like I said, because it wouldn't matter what speed it was on. If it was the problem with the motor shorting, it would blow the fuses no matter what speed. So we'll play with it some more, try to get it to act up. These are all custom aftermarket fuse holders. I'm going to leave them exposed. I'm going to retape everything and not cover those fuse hoses so they're more obvious for the next guy. Alright, let's fire this thing up, see if that fuse blows anymore. That's on 3. That's on 4. So it definitely picks up quite a bit like it's supposed to. Everything seems to be working. I'm just not sure why it blew the fuse. Like I said, I found 3 sets of wires just twisted together, and a couple of them are loose and you could wiggle the wires. So I'm not sure. Resistance makes heat. Gotta fix that. I think you can adjust the screws right here. Get a screwdriver and adjust that for them. I'm gonna clean up some of the wiring. Looks like this duct is getting knocked off of the metal bracket. I'll fix that too. His ACs work good. I'm cleaning up some of the wiring under the hood for him. Friend of the family that cleaned all that up. Should be good. I think this one will be done. I'm gonna play with it, see if, make sure the fuse doesn't blow again on him when he comes to get it. So far so good. Let's button that up, pull this around, and see if we can start on that Honda evaporator core. What you're looking at here is the 2014 Honda Odyssey. One of the greatest, most reliable vehicles ever made. They never need to be repaired. Fantastic vehicles. You got to be cautious about how much stuff you bounce them off of. What we're repairing today is the evaporator. If you remember this vehicle, I think it was about a month ago, I put a sniffer in the drain tube and I was getting hits from the front evaporator. It's got a front and a rear evaporator. They didn't specify which one we're doing. I hope it's the front, because I do remember putting the sniffer in there and having it go that's the noise they make, exactly like that. No, I'm not doing it again. So I've got the refrigerant getting pulled out of it. Do I wish to take a snapshot? Nope. Well, I should say I have the machine hooked up so I can begin pulling refrigerant out of it. It hasn't started yet because I didn't push the button. But we're going to get it going. We're going to get old Bessie back on the road in no time. Good as new. Don't you worry, old girl. These evaporators aren't too bad. It's kind of like that Toyota 4Runner I did the other day, although I hope from memory I think the blower case comes out a little easier on these. And then you take the expansion valve or tube assembly bracket off of that, and the evaporator slides out of the case without taking the whole dash out, I think, because it's only like 3.5 hours labor. So I hope it's that easy. If I gotta take the dash out, I'll be sad. Once I get all the refrigerant out of it, we'll hop inside and get started. I gotta be careful, the new guy likes loud music, so I just took a quick look through this Matco catalog, the Matco man's here, and there's no prices in the whole thing. Any of you guys that are mechanics notice they took the prices out of the flyers? Alright, I gotta go inside that car and get away from the music. Alright, I'm not sure what this is on the dash. I tried to wipe it off. I don't know if someone got shot in here or Coca-Cola or something, but in any event, I popped off the shock for the glove box door, and then it pops off these 2 hinges. Someone's already done an evaporator because this looks like it's been cut. So at some point someone did one. Matter of fact, there's a bolt missing from here. Let's see if I got one in my toolbox when we go back together. This panel just pops off, and the panel underneath just pops off, and it's got an ambient temp sensor in it. So similar to that 4Runner, you take this blower case out, and then you take part of the cover off, and then you can get the evaporator out of there, allegedly. So these are 8s, and I think 10s hold the blower case on, a couple of wiring connectors, and it pops right out. That one felt like it might have been cross-threaded. Normally you have to cut that. 10s and these 2 harnesses. It's going to help. They left a lot of bolts and nuts off. So there's 4 nuts hold this case on here, and they're all, 2 of them are gone, 2 of them are there, and 2 of the evaporator, the blower case bolts are missing. I don't know if I'll have enough hardware for this car. I hope so. I know one thing. Get it apart and we'll sort it out after. Again, any interior dash work and stuff, you got to be really careful with the sheet metal and stuff. Any stamped metal is really sharp because it's expensive to deburr it. So always keep that in mind. Sorry if it sounds repetitive, but I mean, you probably still cut yourself a little, but if you're careful, 2 possibilities. It won't be as bad, or maybe it won't happen at all. I got plenty of these 10mm nuts, so it shouldn't be a problem. See, there's supposed to be 4. Don't make fun of the last guy that did it. There's enough of that on YouTube already. The plastic, any of these 10mm that go on plastic have that big flange nut. That might be the hard part. There's got to be one over here somewhere. Oh yeah, way up there. Can you see it? I hope it shows up. Because I'm going in and I don't have the room so we can all hang out. I don't have the room that we could all hang out in there. Oh. What'd I say? 3rd time. Cut. Take 3. I don't have room for you and the camera up there to take on me. What I like about this light too, it's got little clips. It doesn't have to be steel. Attached. I don't see a 3rd bolt, but it feels like there is one. Oh, that's what it is. That one spot where the bolt was missing. Still kind of gets in the way. This thing's pretty big. I know it's not the first time you heard that, but wow, what am I gonna do? How's it gonna fit out? You got any ideas? Oh, you're not even facing it, are you? You don't pay attention to me anymore like you used to. Don't worry, I'll edit that out so I look like a genius. It's gonna look like it comes right out of there. Huh. I'll tell you what. I thought the older ones, this fits right out. You guys got any ideas, man? Let me know. Alright, figured it out. You gotta take the kick panel, the carpeting out, and one more module. Took out this this module up here. Goes like this. Just gave me that little bit extra room I needed. And the carpeting. Okay, now that that harness is out of the way, we got to get this cover off here. All them Phillips screws. I want to say there's some in the back here too, where you wouldn't think there would be, but there is. They're not impossible to get to. It's just one of the things we do that's adds entertainment value, boost views, clicks, subscriptions, all that stuff. That's why they do it. Otherwise, they would just make it easy. At least that's how I look at it. I'm going to change this over to a Felipe screw. I got a long and a short one, depending on the occasion. I whip out whatever one I need. This one doesn't reach. Okay, there it is. Now, judging by what I've seen thus far in this repair, I'm kind of figuring the ones that are hard to get to might not be there. We'll see. I feel like I'm working on the Ferrari. Getting the ab workout while I try to work the tool and hold the camera. Holy moly, man. I got it unscrewed all but one thread. It won't come out. Alright. Come on now. That's all I want. A little cooperation goes a long way. You turkeys. Trying to drown out the Beatles music in the background, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes in editing. Worst case scenario, I'll just do voiceovers and stuff like that. Okay, there's a screw in that tube. There's a screw in what's left of this tube. And I think one more. And we'll be able to pop that cover off, I believe. Uh-oh. It's easier if that tube's intact. I'm not sure if they broke it or if it's only molded halfway. I don't remember. We'll know when we get it out. Oh, I was hoping the screw would be on the end of it. Uh-oh. Something's happening. you guys, oh, there it is. I thought it wasn't in there. I'm like, did I imagine turning that out? I did not imagine it. I was actually turning it out. It broke the end off it a little bit, but... And that screw, I guess, was not in there. I was expecting to be one more, so... That's where the evaporator's at up there. I believe I gotta unscrew the expansion valve from the outside, maybe? I don't remember. It might fit out. Let's try it. Find you a safe spot up out of here. Might be an evap temp sensor hooked to this still. I gotta watch for that. I'm not sure if it's gonna clear this harness or not. There it is. All right. These gaskets are unusual, and I don't think they got me any. I don't think they got me an expansion valve. I don't think they got me some of the gaskets. And these are double. It's got an O-ring on the inside and outside with a metal washer in between. Interesting. Let's see if we can round some of these rascals up. I don't know if you can see that down there, but that's what we don't want to see. So we're in good shape changing this out. As long as these bolts come out, they didn't get me any gaskets, an expansion valve, or anything. So we're gonna make it work. As long as these come out and don't break. I was hoping the evaporator would come with that, but it is a separate part. I'm gonna try with my stubby ratchet first. Perfect. There's a lot of things that are perfect in my day. I noticed in the editing, I noticed I say that like 8 times a video. I gotta come up with a new one. How about wonderful? Uh-oh. Shouldn't have started talking smack. You know what's happened is the threads on the back of the bolt are rusted where it's stuck out of here. When it starts to tighten up, I'll go the other direction. Spray a little, maybe I'll get some deep creep. Finish it off. It shouldn't be too far. Wonderful! The new evaporator feels a little lighter. I hope I can use these bolts instead. We'll see if they're the same length. There should be a little air in there if it's sealed, but we'll see. I might be talking over this footage anyway. These are short bolts. They are not going to work. Came with O-rings, a little bit of dye, a little bit of oil, whatever you want to call it. To that bolt, I'm going to clean those threads up. I got a thread chaser just for it. Wasn't as bad as I thought. It's a 5mm by 0.8. I didn't even need the tools. I just held the die with my fingers and cleaned them right up. Cleaning up bolt number 2 as well. Might as well while we're in here. Wonderful. Now I can't get my fingers in there to even think about starting them by hand, so I'm just gonna have to feel my way with a tool, make sure we're good to go. As long as you don't force it, it'll probably be all right. Emphasis on probably. Now the O-rings are what seals it, so this is another case of don't overcook it. Snug it up, plus a nice little bump. It's not going anywhere. You just don't want them to vibrate loose. Let the O-rings do the sealing. If it had a vertical gasket, that'd be different. It's like an oil filter cartridge kind of thing. This has got foam around it, all that cool stuff. I put a little over a ½ ounce of oil in it. We're ready to slip this thing in and go back together. And this might be a tighter fit than the last guy, but it's gonna go. It's all in the hips. Once you find the hole, it's a piece of cake. It's like putting a square peg in a round hole. The closer I get it, I think I can get that harness back over that connection here. There'll be enough room. Just trying to do the best I can with what Masami and Matsumoto did. I need to get a 20-year-old working with me as my assistant, and I just supervise. I think that's the next phase in the operation. It's got to go in about 2 more inches. I hope this isn't longer than the original evaporator. They look the same. I never put them side by side. Alright, I got the hose assembly hooked to it. It wasn't fun. I'm guessing there's going to be a lot of that footage I can't use. This is a child-friendly program. Other than a couple innuendos here and there and maybe a little slip of something. It's basically PG-13, and that's what we're trying to keep it. I'm going to put this back in. Once this is in, it's all smooth sailing. Now you have to use your sorcerer's powers to get these screws in the back. I put the front screws in loose, but I don't tighten them. I tighten these back ones first. And once they're tight, then you can tighten those 3 front ones. There's definitely a little bit of a trick to this part. It's not, I don't know what the word for it is, hard. It's just a lot of patience. Like you can see my hand shaking a little bit because I'm holding myself up on my knees, holding the camera with my left hand. My arms rested on the chair. That's the only real support I have. So I'm trying to, it's basically not that big of a deal. I'm just looking for sympathy. All right. I had to go get 1 screw out of my toolbox. Can't have missing screws on that. That controls how much airflow comes out of there. See if the, I got the vacuum going. So that by the time I get this back together, hopefully that'll be done. Now, gotta go above the upper shelf where the fresh air comes in. And behind this little metal bracket over here, kind of do one of these deals. And you're kind of blocking me right now. So we're gonna have to move you to a place where you also won't get hurt. Make sure I don't trap any wires behind here. If I can get this behind here. Don't worry, it's not quite as easy as it looks. There it is. Yeah, now it's 100% in. Now remember, I was missing some hardwares, so just like the screws for the side cover, I gotta go find a couple of plastic screws. I mean metal screws, but they go into plastic. They got a unique thread, like a wood screw. That one. That one. Oop, can't see this one without a light, that's for sure. Now I did manage to fit my arm in there to get this top bolt on. I didn't think it would work, but I tried it instead of using a magnet.
Jimmy, you look deep in this thing.
I am deep in it, man. Is that a good look or a bad look?
Huh?
Is that a good look or a bad look? And I am missing 2 of my nuts. I'm going to try to find those. Oh boy, no sources of rattles right there. I even found me one of these guys. It's not exact, but it's gonna work great. A lot better than the screw they had in there. None. Anytime you can avoid things shifting and creaking in the dash, you're gonna have a happy customer. That shouldn't have been like that, let's just say. And you know me, I don't like throwing mechanics under the bus, but I mean, there was 2 Phillips screws, 4 10mm screws, well, 2 nuts and 2 screws. Just way too much. I could, you know, if there's one missing, yeah, you're in a rush, you're trying to knock out the work, make everybody happy, you miss a screw, that's no big deal. But when there's 6 screws missing, you really didn't care about what you were doing at all.
Hey Jimmy?
Yeah?
The gentleman with the Oldsmobile?
Yeah.
You had mentioned, which fuse was it that blew again? Was it the one under the hood?
Under the hood, there's 2 fuse holders right next to the battery, and one of those is blown.
Hi, Jimmy.
Hey, how you doing, man? I also found, what are you doing over there? What are you doing, Mount Rushmore? They found 3 high resistance areas in that wire that feeds from the battery into the car. So I fixed those 2 while I was in there, and I cleaned up your harness a little bit.
Okay.
And I tightened your passenger visor so it didn't droop.
So the fuse that blew is where?
Right next to the battery, there's 2 fuse holders.
Okay.
One's for the high side of the fan, and the other one, I don't know where that one goes.
Okay.
But I fixed the one for the fan. I don't know why it blew. I couldn't find a short. But I did find high resistance.
So it was for the fan that's in the wheelwell, or
For the blower fan, yeah. Because the high side,
high side fuse.
I thought the new switch went bad.
Right.
But what was happening with the other switch, it would blow like at half speed. It was still blowing.
Right.
But when I pulled it in, I'm like, this thing's not blowing at all. So I checked that there's power not going to that switch at all. So the switch didn't even get a chance on high.
So that's a high speed fuse.
Yeah, there's a completely separate circuit in that car for high speed.
Okay. All right. Now
And
I know.
there's an inline fuse for high speed, and there's a fuse in the fuse panel for the other 3 speeds.
Okay. So the one that's in the fuse panel, that's the one that says.
That's for the lower
heat,
speeds.
It says heat something else.
Heat
on
AC,
it?
blower something.
Okay. Now
And the one by the
bother you anymore.
one by the battery is for the high speed. So. Very patient guy, so I went above and beyond for him. Whoop, you guys aren't even facing the work we're doing. Seems like a very patient guy. You know, I try to take care of my customers and be fair. If I make a mistake or something goes wrong and they just spent a bunch of money and I can take just a few minutes to do a couple little things for them. And, I want the customers happy. I want them to say, you know, who took care of me last time? I don't want them going coupon shopping and going to tire stores and getting hurt. So. No, I didn't get my shock hooked up. That's not good. If you don't hook this up, the glove box door goes bonk and just slops open. Ugh. All right, can't do it that way. I took it off the wrong way, I guess. Gonna have to sort this out. I thought this should just pop on there, no? What do you think? Let's go like this. Oh, see? If you don't have the glove box on, it goes right in. Just wanted me to do it. Just wanted an extra step. Now, where'd that go? You guys see it? This is what I'm playing with for the past 10 minutes. This guy right here. Wasn't sure if I was gonna have to call for help, see if someone knows how to do it. Alright. Now, get my flashlight out of there. I'm missing a 16mm socket. I left it somewhere, which is very unlike me. But as you guys know, things are a little chaotic and hectic. A lot of 911s and stuff. So I lost a 16mm Sunex shallow impact. And I also can't find my stubby vessel Phillips. So that's all right. That's all right. We're gonna be a-okay. Not gonna be long now. I'm giving it a 45-minute vacuum because I had it open a little while. Well, that's a shame. It failed the leak test. I put some refrigerant in it just to see if the leak test was right. And I think it's leaking somewhere where it connects to the expansion valve. And if you remember when I was installing it, I had a really hard time getting that aftermarket Chinese evaporator to fit and line everything up. I was muscling it pretty hard. I don't know if I cracked something or if I damaged an O-ring messing with it. I can pull this nut off here and pull that back off and get a look at that real easy. If it's not in that part, then we're gonna have to get another evaporator. This is fun. Let's keep doing it. That doesn't mean it's loose. Just means my socket fell off. I'm gonna get a peek back there with a mirror and my light and see if I can see something. Very strange. Got my gaskets on there. It's lined up. I know I tightened the tubes back up. I loosened the tubes to get it to go back in the case the last 1.5 inches. I loosened the tubes, backed it into the case because it was fighting on the firewall. And then I tightened them up. I know I did that. It's pretty tight right there. Let's try vacuuming it again. See, one way I can tell it's still leaking is it's not quite pulling it down to the 30 or really close to it. If I close this, so it's not going through the car. Now it's only the machine. Pretty sure it only pulls vacuum on the low side, but let's see. It's pulling it down quite a bit more. Let's see where it is. I'm going to come over here and open up these valves. Let's say, you know, the car's got a leak. So I think the evaporator they got me is leaking worse than the one I took out. Maybe I did something wrong in the alignment of those tools. I put all new O-rings, and you guys saw. I feel like I got to explain myself when things don't go right, and it seems like they don't go right on like 3 out of 5 cars because we get the cheapest junk we can find because the factory parts are expensive, but it's not expensive to do it over and over. I don't know, to me it seems expensive to have to do it again. Not to mention it's another 3 or 4 hours that I'm not fixing someone else's car because we saved $100 on a part. All right, guys. How to waste an afternoon 101. That's what we learned today. How to spend 3.5 hours on a car and not get anywhere. They're gonna give me another evaporator. I told them I might need that tube assembly too and an expansion valve, which we really should have got an expansion valve and stuff with it anyway. I tried to make it work. We'll have to make it work tomorrow. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. I'm sorry if they're sucking lately. I'm trying not to make them suck. It's not easy. Now there's ambulances. Just another day in Kissimmee. Thanks, guys, for watching. We'll get back on this Honda tomorrow. They're going to get me another evaporator. Torque that like button before you head out if you got anything from today's video and you learned how to waste an afternoon, whatever the case may be. It's time for a cold beverage. Hope I see you in another video because you're awesome.